Hey, good morning, good morning, good morning. Thanks so much for tuning in to the Wealthy, Healthy, Happy Show. I'm your host, ERGJ, Certified Financial Educator. Thanks so much for tuning in. We are going through the 15 Laws of Invaluable Growth by John C. Maxwell. And we started out with law number one was the law of intentionality. It means that you need to know where you want to go. And then we got into law number two, which is the law of awareness, becoming aware of who you are and those that are connected to you, and also a network that you connect to. Find a mentor, find someone that has already done what you're looking to do, and they can help you move along the way. And then now we're into the law of the mirror. This is all about how we see ourselves. You can't add value to yourself unless you know yourself in order to add value to yourself. We've got our co-host here, Mr. Dotan. How are you, sir?
Yeah, good morning, Mr. Evan. Good morning to everyone on the call. I'm happy to be part of this discussion this morning. The law of the mirror.
Absolutely, the law of the mirror. We got Mr. Beatles joining us, our other co-host. How you doing today, Mr. Beatles?
What's going on, Wealthy, Healthy, Happy people? What's happening? This is Mr. Beatles, Mr. Wealthy, Healthy, Happy, your neighborhood financial planner and small business developer. How's everybody doing?
Hope everybody's doing well. Now, here's the deal, guys. We got one seat open. We're going to see who's going to jump in that seat. We got Britt, we got Vader, we got Raquel. Raquel, you ain't jumped in the seat yet. Today's your opportunity.
Let's go. Let's get at it.
Open. Take the seat. Whoever is bold enough to step into the hot seat with the Wealthy, Healthy, Happy people. Let's get this thing going. So we are on the law of the mirror. Yesterday we talked about steps 1 through 3 in order to help to build your self-image, Number 1 was guard your self-talk. Watch how you talk to yourself. Watch what you say to yourself throughout the day. And so yesterday we were saying that, hey, I can be great, that it's possible for me. So guard your self-talk. Step number 2 was stop comparing to others. Got an echo coming from somewhere. Okay, stop comparing yourself to others. Stop comparing yourself to others. Hey, you're only in competition with your best self yesterday. So you want to be better today than you were yesterday. So stop comparing yourself to others. And then number 3, move beyond your limiting self-beliefs. That's what we pick up today. Moving beyond your self-limiting beliefs. And there's a quote by Charles Schwab says, when a man has put a limit on what he will do, he has put a limit on what he can do. Let's speak that again. When a man has put a limit on what he will do, he has also put a limit on what he can do. What limits are you putting on yourself? And today we want to work on breaking those limits, and we call it breaking the ceiling or having a breakthrough today. Mr. Dotan.
Yeah, self-limiting beliefs is one thing that we need to overcome in order for us to be able to achieve our potential. And this comes as a reason of the fact that while growing up, we've sort of like adjusted to some mind conditioning which may work for us or may work against us. And so we need to understand what our self-limiting beliefs are things holding us back from achieving our potential in life. So, for example, I got reading of a book by a gentleman, T. Harv Eker, on the secret of the millionaire mind. And it was talking about our beliefs, about our money beliefs, for example, which looks subtle in some ways, but has profound effect in the level of achievement that we have financially. And so I think it's similar to what we are discussing here as well, in the sense that whether it's money or not, in other areas of life as well, we do have beliefs, we do have ingrained beliefs that we've taken on while growing up, and those things actually hold us back in life if we do not identify them and take definite steps to break those things from our lives so that we can move forward.
Mr. Beatles.
Those limiting beliefs are real, man. They are so real in our lives, and you can tell by how high you have climbed up the ladder just how real those limiting beliefs are. But guess what? You have power over those limiting beliefs. You know the reason why? Is because you created the limiting belief. And what has happened, we gotta go back and we gotta take a look at the construct. Like, how did we get in the box? Because that's really where that's kind of how I frame limiting beliefs. I frame it as this box that we're in. And until you realize that you're inside the box, you're just living, you just day to day, you're just doing what you do, and you figure, well, I get what I get because of the box that you're in. But again, you don't realize that you're in this thing. And so you start identifying that, man, you know what? The earth might not be round. It might be flat. And again, I'm stretching your mind to believe that there's more to life than what you currently have right now. And as soon as you begin to challenge those beliefs, you start finding that, man, there is so much more that you can do. It's like the elephant that grows up in the circus. The elephant has no idea how much power he has because all his life he's been chained to this little stake. And when the elephant is a baby, they put him on this stake and they wrap the chain around his ankle, and he gets conditioned over time to believe that all he has is the space between the chain and his stake. And even as he grows older, he has that same limiting belief. And so when he is 2 tons and that same small stake is around his ankle, he believes the same thing about himself, that all I have is the space between this chain and my ankle. So I tell you today that you are more than the chain between you and the ankle. You have much more. And when you start stepping out and believing in yourself, you start understanding that you break those chains and you're doing more in life.
Absolutely. And we got a guest here, Veda, who stepped outside of her comfort zone and has got something coming on March 18th in Philadelphia. So I just think that I'm going to keep talking about that until March 18th because she decided to do something different. And she's going to see success. Again, success is a progressive realization of worthy ideas. So she took a step to make progress towards her ultimate goal. Patrick, limiting beliefs, man. Anything to say about that, sir? Thanks so much for joining, too, being bold enough to jump in the hot seat with us.
Yeah, thanks for having me, guys. I appreciate seeing you in the morning. Gets me started. So how do you know what your limiting beliefs are? And that starts with, what are you telling yourself? What is your self-talk? What do you, when things happen, do you say, I'm stupid? And it's amazing to me as you learn this stuff and you start hanging around other people, you'll hear them say stuff to themselves that's just horrible. And they'll say horrible things to their children. And these are people they love. And yet they're saying horrible things like, don't do that, you're stupid. And how many times do you have to hear that before you start believing it? And so a lot of times we continue to reprogram the same bad limiting belief that was told us when we were very small children. And we perpetuate that not only in ourselves, but also in our children and other people. And so if you want to know what your limiting beliefs are, listen to yourself. It's horrible.
Yeah, and some of us have been programmed by, like you said, by our parents, by society. It takes an act and a will within yourself to say that I'm going to decide to reprogram myself, right? And fortunately, there are places that you come, places like this, where you can get around different people who actually believe that all things are possible, that there is no limit to where you can go. And again, I want to say that actually believe it. How do we know that we actually believe it? Because we walk it out every day. We talk about it every day. See, there's a difference between just saying something in passing and actually living and walking it out. And so you get a chance to be around people who are going for the gusto. And nothing wrong with that. And so remember, in the end, it isn't who you are that holds you back. It isn't what you are that holds you back. It's what you think you're not. So when you think about whatever it is that you may want to accomplish or do, sometimes you got to say, okay, what happens if I do it? But then you got to also ask yourself, what happens if I don't? What happens if I take this risk? Oh, but what happens if I don't take this risk? See, sometimes we only look at it from one side, and we look at the risk that may be involved in whatever it is we're going after. But I'm saying that where I focus on, I focus on the reward. Are you going to focus on the risk, or are you going to focus on the reward? And here's the deal. Not doing anything is riskier than doing something. Let me repeat that again. Not doing anything is riskier than doing something. So are you going to focus on the reward, or are you going to focus on the risk? You calculate the risk, but I'm telling you, focus on the reward, and you're going to keep moving forward towards your goal. Now, step number 4 is, man, you want to add value to others. You want to add value to others. And the quote there is that it's hard to feel bad about yourself when you're doing something good for someone else. It's hard to feel bad for yourself when you're doing something good for someone else. Mr. Dotan.
Yeah, it's hard to feel bad about yourself when you are doing something good for yourself. So adding value to others is one way in which we can actually relieve ourselves of the pressure of you just holding on to those self-limiting beliefs, because then what you've done is to disconnect from the consciousness of you just saying, okay, this is all what I can do. So when you move away from this is all what I can do to this is what I can do for others, you've actually broken that barrier that has been holding you back. So take, for example, in public speaking, I've found that in the little time I've been trying to improve my public speaking abilities through Toastmasters, that every time I step in front of the people to speak, the butterflies come up, right, which is natural. But I found that my best speeches were the ones where I went in a little bit, feeling a little bit unprepared, in the sense that I'm not trying to remember everything in my script, but I was focused on the people and I was just sharing my story from my heart. At that point, I get connected with the audience, right? Because it's like I was just focused on them. But in the times when I've even memorized my script and it's like I didn't miss any speaking point, I just sound, I sound mechanical. Yeah. It sounds okay, but the truth is that, there wasn't that connection as the time when I just stood out there and I just, disconnected from myself and I just poured myself out. That's what we're trying to say here, in the sense that when you shift that energy, when you redirect that energy to focusing on how you want to add value into the life of others, then you are actually breaking from the barrier that has been holding you back, in the sense that you've been directing it too much to yourself. Now you are redirecting it into other people, and guess what? People know when you do things from your heart. People appreciate it when they see you pouring out yourself into them, and I think that's one thing we should recognize in terms of being able to move forward in achieving our potential.
Mr. Beatles.
Oh, that's a good one, Mr. Dotan. Adding value. We that has literally been the theme of our show, and what we have been saying every day when we get off the phone. Every day when we get off of this show, make sure that you're going out and being an impact to others. Make sure that you go out and you add value, be of service. And the reason why that's so important is because it allows you, the service part, it allows you to grow. It allows you literally to do more, be more, have more when you get outside of yourself and start being of value to the environment that you support. Like, you are the sun, literally. You are like the center of your own little small universe. Your micro world, you're the center of that. And everything that happens is a direct reflection of how you are responding, how you are giving yourself to your little small world. So if today the sun is not shining, the reason why it's not shining is because you're not shining. The reason why you don't see the reflection of smiles come back to you is because you're probably not smiling. The reason why you aren't seeing the money flowing into your life is because you are not adding enough value. So you have to get outside of yourself. Know that with what you have, you're absolutely perfect right now in what you have, and you want to be giving from that space and then working to grow yourself right here in this space on the Wealthy, Healthy, Happy Show.
Patrick.
Well, so a lot of times people kind of ask, well, I'm not comfortable doing that, or they state they're not comfortable doing that. And again, that's another self-limiting belief. You have to get comfortable being uncomfortable. Kind of like,
you got to go back and repeat that, Patrick.
Yeah, you're just going to have to get comfortable being uncomfortable, because every time you start doing something different, it's uncomfortable. It's like getting butterflies before you speak. It's part of the process, and you have to get comfortable being uncomfortable. You know, a plane is safe on the ground, but that's not what it was built for.
Oh, yeah. Hey, it made you did it? Made you Yep, it did.
Wow. Hey,
Yeah.
so you got to ask yourself, you got to say to yourself, am I going to get off the ground, right? You're going to say, am I going to hang out with the turkeys, or am I going to fly with the eagles? Am I going to fly with the hawks? Am I going to fly with the people that can see over all of the world and can see what's going on in this tiny space? Man, you got to decide that you're going to spread your wings. I believe I can fly. Don't get me started today.
Hey, let's not.
So here's the so here's the deal, guys, man. You got to ask yourself, man, whenever the last time was that you stepped outside and you actually added value to someone else, you actually helped someone to accomplish a goal. Same thing we're doing here on the show. Ask yourself, how good did that make you feel? And in the moment that you were doing that, did you think about anything that was going on in your world? Any of the cares, any of the pressures, any of the stress? I don't believe that I don't believe this is possible for you to be so engaged in someone else's success, so engaged in feeding the poor, so engaged in helping someone else to achieve more, because when you're focused on them, it's hard to focus on you. Repeat that again. Focused on them. When you focus on adding value, when you focus on helping someone else, when you focus on inspiring someone else, when you're focusing on servicing someone else, it's hard for you to think about you. It's hard for you to think about you. And I said this the other day. I said to myself, you know, I am here as a teacher, right? So what I do is I teach. So regardless of whether I get paid or not, I'm going to teach, because that is what helps me. That's what motivates and inspires me to continue to move forward. So that's what I do. I teach. So I teach and I charge. I teach and I do it for free. But you know what? Each and every day I'm going to find a way to teach and inspire. And this just kind of starts us off. Because why? Because I'm focusing on someone else becoming great. I'm focusing on someone else growing and developing to their new self. What are you going to focus on today? Are you going to be selfish or selfless? Repeat that again. Are you going to be selfish or selfless? Die to yourself each and every day. Mr. Beatles, man, you want to do some quick shout outs, man, halfway through the show?
I sure do. I'm glad you asked. All right, let's see what we got. We got the loan officer, the lender, the guy with the money, Robert E. Lewis. He is in the building. We also have the beautiful Brittany E. Lee Moore. I said E. Lee. Brittany Lee Moore. I don't even know if Lee is your whole L in the name. I don't know. But we got Brittany Moore. She's got this. She is blessed. We also have Simone Laporta in the building as well. He is a graduate software developer. I worked for a Google project helping and made it in Italy. Now working in Geneva, Switzerland. Nice.
Wow,
or Geneva.
nice.
Global reach.
Who else? We got Christian Rodner. She's a photographer, entrepreneur, artist. Pigs Fly. Yes, it's happening right now. Texas. Howdy. Let's see. We got Peter in the building. He's a husband, a dad, a business developer, marketing executive, speaker, volunteer, and he's just a cool dude, man.
Yeah, he's a cool dude, man. Peter's a cool dude.
Hey, man, and then we got the smart market SEO, Mr. Patrick, right here in our seat right now. Welcome, and thank you so much for joining the show. And then we have the lovely Veda, who was getting ready to put on a phenomenal spoken word event in March. And again, a commendable thing that you're doing right now, Miss Veda. Don't you ever forget that. Then we also have Raquel. She is a social media SME, entrepreneur, creative director, freelance artist, dancer, photographer, artist, writer, foodie, and a mom of two. And then we have Mr. Beatles, Mr. Wealthy, Healthy, Happy on the show.
Fantastic, guys. So we're halfway through our show talking about the law of the mirror. In case you don't know, we're going through the 15 laws of invaluable growth by John C. Maxwell. Law number one was the law of intentionality. It means you want to know, you need to know where you want to go. Second law was the law of awareness. Be aware of who you are and your surroundings. And then now we're in the law of the mirror, talking about a positive self-image, positive self-esteem. And now we're talking about how you can build that in case you're in a place that you've been wallowing in the mud as it relates to looking in the mirror yourself. And so step number 5 is do the right thing, even if it's the hard thing. Do the right thing, even if it's the hard thing. And a favorite quote that I have is that if you do what's hard, then your life will be easy. But if you do what's easy, then your life will be hard. So I choose each and every day to do what's hard. I choose each and every day to try and do the right thing. I don't always do the right thing, but do the right thing, even if it's the hard thing. Mr. Dotan.
Yeah, doing the right thing, even if it's the hard thing. Sometimes in life, I mean, maybe most times in life, if you have to do something that, I mean, you really get some value from, then expect that it's not going to be all that easy. Unfortunately, in the world we live in right now, we tend to look for shortcuts and quick fixes, and there is nothing like that to the road on our road to success. We must be ready to do the right thing the right way, which may take time, which may be inconveniencing to us, but if it's the right thing, just stay the path, hang in there, and keep going at it. So it says it sounds way too simple, but doing the wrong thing sometimes harms our self-image, and doing the right things does raise our self-image. When we are principled in the way we approach life, even when it's not convenient, people will respect us for what we stand for. And even though some may not agree with us, some may see us coming across as jacks sometimes, but guess what? Just keep doing the right thing. In the end, it will pay off for you. So doing the right thing, even if it's the hard thing, it's a matter of principle.
Mr. Beatles.
Oh man, I was just writing. We are hardwired. We're hardwired to do the right thing. We are hardwired to do the right thing. That's where the principles, the values and stuff comes into play. When you do the wrong thing and it doesn't feel right, that means that there's a hardwired program that is really telling you what you should be doing. And what we end up doing is convincing ourselves that it's okay to do the wrong thing or do the opposite thing because it's more convenient to do the opposite. So the programming comes into the programming comes into play. Doing the right thing is just the best thing because you get the best results, but it's not the easiest thing. It's like getting up in the morning, every morning, 5 o'clock, 5:30, going to the gym for 30 minutes, making sure that you have a good packed lunch so that you can look and feel your very best. Now, what ends up happening is that we don't wake up at 5 or 5:30 in the morning, and then we make the excuse because the kids got to get on the bus, and then we got to get to work, and then we forgot to pack the lunch, and then so we're eating pizza 5 days out of the week, and then you wonder why you don't feel your best. Well, it was because you didn't do the right thing. And then you end up feeling bad at every lunch period. Every time you eat lunch, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, there is something inside you that says, you know what, I shouldn't be eating this. You say that to yourself, right? Even if it's just a thought, even if you don't say it verbally, you don't say it out loud, you say it to yourself, I know I shouldn't be eating this. That's because you're not doing the right thing. You're not doing the right thing. And so that's a chink in the armor right there. That's going to make you feel it's not going to make you feel so good about yourself. Then there's the limiting belief. I'll never eat better. This is just what it is. You know what? I'm fine. I'm going to eat a whole pizza every day. And then, boom, you kick the bucket at 52.
But Mr. Beatles, it's easy to go to McDonald's versus a grocery store, man.
Oh, man. Yeah, absolutely. But do you know what's in that McDonald's burger that you eat? You know that thing is poison?
I like
it's not even a real burger.
Mr. Patrick.
It is. It's so easy.
Mr. Patrick.
Well, whether you do the right thing or the wrong thing, you are building your brand and your name and your reputation not only out into the real world, but also within yourself. It becomes part of you, becomes part of your self-talk. So what is more valuable than your name? I mean, even ancient text tells us there's nothing more valuable than a good name. And in the marketplace, a lot of people involved in this are involved in some type of business or another. Well, what happens to your name in the marketplace when you do the easy thing instead of the right thing? How long before your business doesn't exist anymore? The reality is, to be of service to others, you have to do the right thing, not the easy thing.
Man, absolutely, man. I can. Yeah, he just said a good thing. How long do you think you'll be in business? And we've learned in the Stranger Secret, a book that we read earlier. He said, don't delude yourself into thinking that you can get rich by deluding others. In order for you to be successful, you enrich yourself by enriching others. That's what the text said there. So don't delude yourself thinking that you may have got away with it, right? But it doesn't necessarily mean it was for your good. Again, you may have gotten away with it, right? You didn't get caught, right? And I know about 3 days ago, I went to the teller machine, ATM, and now they got the new credit cards, right, or new debit cards. So you got to put it in, you got to keep it there, and it's got to read your little chip. And then at the end, you got to pull it out. Well, someone had left their card in there when I got to the machine. And, the first thing you hear, I was like, oh, man, that's free money. But it hit me like that's not the right thing to do. Like, I wouldn't want nobody to, if I left my card in there, so I just pulled it out, canceled the transaction out, got my stuff, and then I took the card to the bank the next day. But what's the right thing to do? You ever found a wallet in the park or wherever you want? What was the right thing to do? Like this seriously has an impact on you, whether you believe it or not. You may not have got caught, but it catches up to you later on, man. Karma is a BITCH. So do the right thing, man. You'll find in the long run that, again, because wealth is built over time, your reputation is built over time, but it can crush in a matter of moments. It only takes 5 minutes to kill your reputation, but it took you 20 years to build it. So don't crush it by doing the wrong thing. It may not be the easy thing to do, but believe me, it's well worth it. It is well worth it, man. So we're going over 3 through 5, and then we're going to try to finish up tomorrow 6 through 10. If not, we'll finish up 10 on Friday, and then that's Fan Friday as well. And we're going through the law of the mirror, steps to building your self-image, building your positive self-esteem, how you see yourself. That's what we're going through this week. And so hopefully you're continuing to grow as we go through these steps. And maybe you've noticed some things that you haven't implemented that you can implement in your life, man.
I think you're breaking up.
Mr. Bees, you are coming in a little flustered there. I think we're losing your internet connection there, brother. Hey, Mr. You're breaking up. I'm breaking up?
No, you are coming on well.
Yeah, no, you're doing well.
I think it's Mr. Beatles. I think you're breaking up, Mr. Beatles. Hey, Mr. Dotan, any last words for the peeps?
Yeah, again, as we go through this great material, much more than us having this discussion, which in itself is useful because that's how we learn and grow. But in fact, what will help us even more is identifying one action step you can take right now, putting it to use. So for each day that we come, let's identify a key action step or a key action item that you want to implement during the day, and see how you can implement that so that you can then begin to actually make those changes.
Can you see me?
Intentionally.
Can you see me? Can you hear me?
Areas where they are needed.
You're good, Mr. Beatles.
Can you see me? Can you hear me?
Yes.
Oh, right there.
Yeah, we can hear you now.
Man, how does that happen?
He can't see.
How does that work? Camera shut down. Can't see nobody else.
Go ahead, Mr. Dotan.
Yeah, so identify one action step each day that you can take, that you can implement, whether in your business, whether in your family life, whether in your spirituality, something that will not take more than 30 minutes. That's the way we change. Incrementally, consistently, intentionally making those changes, and because growth doesn't happen in a day, but it happens daily. So what's the action step you can take today from what we've discussed, whether today or even on Monday or Tuesday or even last week? There's still time. Identify something you can implement today and just do it.
Absolutely. Mr. Patrick, any last word for the peeps?
Do the right thing. Be here tomorrow.
Absolutely. Thank you, man. Mr. Beatles.
I love it.
Any last words for the peeps? Want to sign us out?
Oh, do the right thing. Do the right thing and be here tomorrow. I love that one. So I'm gonna leave it. I'm gonna leave it with that one right there. Look, every morning we're right here making an impact, and you are adding value to others by being right here on this show. So you have to be here tomorrow, and not only be here tomorrow, but tell somebody about what's happening right here on this blab, and what type of changes are happening for you, because we want this show to grow. We want to add more value to more people, so we can't do that without your help. So that being said, make sure that you tell somebody about the Wealthy, Healthy, Happy Show. Ladies and gentlemen, we're right back here, 7 a.m. Eastern Standard Time to 7:30. We're wealthy, we're healthy, we're happy, and we are out.
Happy